So today, guys, we're going to be focused on a build that works great in team play in Legendary Mission. And the reason why I like this build is because, as you guys noticed, it can take out multiple enemies at once. And if you clear the battlefield fast in Legendary Missions, what it does is allows you to continue on with the next part. Not only that, it works great if you pair it up with skill build players. In this video, you'll see that there was actually 3 skill build players, and what they did is they were controlling the battlefield too. They had different status effects going on. They had the foam, they had the shock. Everything was keeping enemies in place. They even had some other skills that were doing damage, and that's why this build works so good. There were 3 skill build players on this, and I was the 1 DPS build, and what it did is it kind of balanced the whole Legendary Mission. It was actually pretty smooth. We didn't even have one instance where we were in trouble, really. We even lost one of the skill build players halfway through. We lost another one halfway through, so it was always 3 as we got, and then finally one person came in. So we were at 3 people at one point, and then we finally got a 4th. But like you guys are seeing, this build hits hard, and it's one of those classic builds that it controls the battlefield, right? As a DPS player, not only is your job to take down targets fast, but if you can take down multiple targets at once, well, it makes it even better, and that's what this build right here does. And don't get me wrong, it definitely helped that we had skill build players on my team that actually had like a shock trap that you see that was allowing them to stop the enemies from moving, because all I had to do was mark 3 enemies, as you saw here. These are 3 tanks, and then I could just focus on one of them as I knock down one of them, and I keep focusing on the other, and obviously their skills are going to be doing damage too, so it just helps out. And overall, to me, I feel like this really complemented their builds and they complemented my build. So let's dive into the build. So if we look at the build, you'll notice that we are running a 4-piece negotiators. We do have spotter active. We do have a lot of different things going on with this, and that's why it's so good. We have the police M4, and what this is gonna do is it has pretty good rate of fire, right? So the RPM on this is pretty good at 850, 50 round mag, and 87,000 damage on this one. Now I do have it at 16 expertise. We have assault rifle, health damage, damage targets out of cover, and then I have the talent flatline, amplifies weapon damage by 15% to pulse enemies. After 3 kills, applies pulse to the next enemy you hit. Now we have crit chance, we have 20 rounds on the magazine slot, we have the link laser pointer, and that's gonna pulse the enemy so I don't have to run a pulse, and then we have critical hit chance muzzle. Now, I always recommend that if you have the Scorpio, put that on. You can pretty much put whatever else you want in here, but the Scorpio is a great piece to put right here. So we are running the Negotiator's Dilemma. What it does is it gives us 15% crit chance, 20% crit damage, and then it has hostile negotiations, critical hits, mark enemies for 20 seconds up to 3 marks. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of that damage dealt. But we're gonna be having the backpack on, so that's gonna give us 100% damage dealt to all 3 of those enemies, which is actually pretty good. Whenever a marked enemy dies, you gain 2% critical hit damage, stacking up to 20 times, so that's additional 40% critical hit damage you can have if you get that full stack. Now we have weapon damage, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance mod on here. For the chest piece, I decided to go with the closer chest piece. This gives us 5% total armor. It also gives us 170,000 armor. We have 15% armor from the expertise, and then we have critical damage, critical chance, and a critical hit damage mod. Perfect spotter, as you guys know, amplifies total weapon damage and skill damage by 20% to pulse enemies. Our second piece of negotiators is going to be the holster. We have weapon damage, critical hit damage. For the knee pads, we are running the Fox pair knee pads. They're gonna have armor on here. We have damage to targets out of cover. So we're gonna have a total of 18% damage to targets out of cover on this build. And we have 12% critical hit damage. For the gloves, we are running a 3rd piece of negotiators with weapon damage, critical hit damage. And then obviously the backpack right here, weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical damage. And like I said, we are running the backpack. It has a special talent that it bumps up that 60% to 100%. So that means all my crits on one target, if I mark all 3, are gonna hit the same. The damage numbers is gonna be on every single those crits. And that's actually what's really good. And that's why you can take down those enemies instantly. And that's why you wanna have a lot of crit chance on this build, so you're constantly critting on those enemies themselves. Now, I personally think the Crusader Shield is great, especially if you guys are running like a team build. You can see I'm tier 3, so it does have 2.7 million health. I think this is great because this allows you to keep putting damage down range, and your teammates can also put, so you won't always have the focus on you. And I feel like it really works in Legendary, and it gives you that extra sense of survivability even at 1.2 million armor. Then I am running the Defender Drone, which is gonna have damage reduction of 30% because I am running the Defender Drone, right? And then because I have a it's a tier 1, but then I have expertise, 14% damage reduction, and then we have duration, health, and damage reduction mod slot on there. So yeah, this right here definitely works really good in the build, and we'll take a look at the crit chance. You'll see crit chance is at 52% crit chance. I would like to get it a little bit higher, 149% crit damage, and the thing you want to do is try to have this as max crit chance as possible, and the main reason is because if you're hitting those crits, that's transferring to the other 2 enemies, right? So you mark 3 and you're getting a lot of damage. 75% headshot damage, no armor damage. We do have 20% health damage, and then we have the 18% damage to targets out of cover. So yeah, if you guys have been looking for a build that works great in those legendary missions, because a lot of you guys ask me, hey Skills, I noticed you run a lot of solo builds. Do you have anything for those legendary missions? Well, here you guys go. This build, one of my favorites. And a lot of people actually run a solo version of this with a Memento backpack, but I wanted to put something that would work in group play, right? Because that's what a lot of you guys like playing. And if you guys like playing legendary missions, this right here works good. So whenever you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of that damage dealt. Having max crit chance on there and then having good crit damage is going to help this build a lot. So yeah, this is the build right here. If you guys have any questions, let me know. An amazing build to run in legendary, and as you guys seen in some more gameplay, we were able to complete this. The damage is there, guys, especially if you have a solid team. And remember, legendary is a team sport, and if you go in there and you have the right builds put together, I would recommend everybody running the same exact build. But hey, look, you guys saw we had 3 skill builds, 1 DPS build, and it worked really good. We were able to clear it out. We clear this legendary. I typically don't do legendary. I feel like the roles on legendary are pretty good. I can't complain, but I feel like with heroic content, you can complete it a lot faster and get those roles a lot faster. So if you're just looking for max out roles, well, legendary might be it, but if you want to get a lot of gear and have a chance of still getting max out roles, heroic, you know, it's really up to you. But legendary did drop me a lot of maxed out roles, and it will. So if you guys are looking for those maxed out mods, maxed out, yeah, that's the place for you guys. We will wrap it up here, guys. Appreciate the support, appreciate the love. Thanks for watching the channel. Hey, remember, if you guys want to catch more Division content on this channel, subscribe for more. If you guys have any questions, need any helps with tips, masks, check out the playlist. We have a ton of playlists right here on this channel. A great place for you guys to look for. Just click on playlist and you can go through for the tips and tricks, for the mask, for how to get named items, exotic items, whatever you need. Most of the answers will be answered right there here. So we'll leave you finished with a little bit more legendary content so you can see it, the build in full action. And well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, thanks again, everybody. Nothing but Skills out.